Hey there, it's Sean from the Simpit, and today marks the reveal of the Sean Forever rig in our ongoing challenge with Amir. Now, I know Amir is already rocking a sweet motion sim chassis and diving into custom 3D printed bits. Now me, I'm going the DIY route. I'm building my rig from the ground up, including a solution for the monitors. So you could say I'm a tad behind, but who's not up for the challenge? So let's dive in and see how I'm gonna catch up. Now I'm building my rig with the absolute cheapest and weakest aluminum profile in the world. Why? Because I had an abundance of it here in the studio. And for those who have been viewers for a long time, yes, this is the exact same profile that I've probably built dozens of rigs out of over the years. And to be precise, we're talking about 30 by 30 millimeter profile. And I have various different lengths, all under 3 feet, along with a variety of flat brackets and angled brackets. And of course, the little nuts that go down the slots and the bolts to hold it all together. So first things first, we're going to start things off with our monitor stand. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's get to building. I started by just securing a couple of profile sticks to the wall, securing it into the studs. I then built that outward so that my monitors would be a few feet away from the wall. And then I boxed that in and supported it from above. This had a center support that would hold my cheap-ass monitor mount. I then built a frame off that extending to the left at 45 or so degrees that would hold my left monitor. And then I repeated that exact process on the right hand side to match. Then I went ahead and put my monitors on it. Now in the end, it wasn't perfect, but just a few pieces of black duct tape would cure its flaws. Look at that, my monitors floating over the thin air. Isn't it magical? Ooh. So I actually threw a rig under it, decorated everything, and you would think that I would be super happy, but in the end, I wasn't. I decided that I wanted to turn the whole thing 90 degrees, so I tore it all apart and started over again with the exact same principle. But this time, I went ahead and installed a couple of shelves to hold my computer and some extra racing gear. Now it was time to build my rig. I've already built a few rigs of similar design, and if you want more details, you can go watch my 80/20 DIY rig build video, and there is a link here in the description. It started off with some long pieces, and I joined them together with some shorter ones, and I also added some uprights that would hold my seat. Here's one, and another, and that's right, one more. Then I finished off the front with another cross brace, as this would be where I would extend it for the pedals and build vertically for the wheel deck. Add a bracket here, add another bracket there, and I suppose that would be a good spot as well. The more the merrier, I always say. Now you know what would be stronger than one layer profile for these areas? That's right, 2 layers. So I went ahead and doubled up the uprights and the pedal box. This shelving bracket here would work out nice. Sure, let's bolt that on there as well. For my wheel deck, I found some random corner brackets for construction and bolted them together with 2 sticks of profile. This would give me some up and down and some rotational adjustment of the deck. I then added 2 long rails that would support the wheel deck and also create my seat support to complete the back. Add a couple of cross braces, we'll throw the seat on there, and look at that, it's starting to look like a rig. At the front, I had 2 rails going across to mount my pedals. I just had to line up the holes and bolt them down, including another bracket to support the side. For the wheel, I added a couple of brackets to the profile and then bolted the wheelbase right to it. Well supported, super strong. I then put the rig on top of my motion platform and scooted it under the monitors. And look at that, my rig is ready to race. Now I'd like to tell you that this is the end of the story and that everything was perfect, but that's not the case. So as I looked at the footprint of the overall rig, monitors, everything included, I noticed a little closet in my room and I thought, isn't that the exact dimension of the space that I'm taking on the opposite side of the room? And sure enough, it was. So I went back to work, starting over from scratch with a brand new monitor design, but I didn't like the flaws of the previous one. So I went to a doubled up stick profile and used the Track Racer universal monitor mounts that I had recently reviewed and this came out perfectly. It was so awesome that I was able to mount 2 computers behind my monitors so they'd be well hidden, and one for streaming and one for racing. I didn't even need to use the duct tape to finish it off. It just came out freaking perfect. With my monitors in place, the rig up on the platform, it just came out perfect. We're ready to go. We got this nice DIY junkyard seat. Sure, it's dirty, but it's super comfortable and it works great. We've got our cheap rig and it's ready to go. But since this is going to be my forever rig, the components that I put on it was going to be a very important selection for me because I really don't plan on changing things out. I have a different rig for that. This is the rig that I want consistent every time I race. So at the pedals, I opted for my Ricmotech GT Pro pedals. They have a hydraulic brake and they are awesome pedals and they're really expensive, but a perfect selection for this rig. For my wheel, I opted for the Ricmotech Mini Might, and there are a few reasons for this. Number one, I love that it has its own built-in dash. It was going to suit my forever rig really nice. The Mini Might has great force feedback, and then lastly, it uses an NRG style quick release. So when I'm running open wheel or LMP style cars, I can use my GSI Formula Pro Elite wheel, and when I'm running tin tops or like NASCAR style, I can use this really cool MPI Mazda rim by Ricmotech, which is the exact wheel that is in the MX-5 Cup car. And that gives me a lot of freedom with this rig. So at this point, it's fully functional. Now, I'll be the first to admit there is a little bit of wobble in the wheel deck that I find unacceptable, and I could have easily done more cross bracing to this design to cure that. But I do have future plans, and a lot of those plans are going to incorporate that cross bracing and addressing some of the aesthetic issues of the rig. Because right now, I'll tell you, it's butt ugly. So when you look at Amir, and he's already moved on to a sequential shifter and his handbrake and his fancy 3D printed console, which is gorgeous, I'm really competing with a lot right now. I got to come up with a lot of design elements and be very innovative to not only make this rig perfect for me to last me forever, but also to compete against Amir. So this is just part one for me. We had a lot to do to catch up, build a rig, and build this monitor stand. I think it came out absolutely fantastic, but we still have a lot to do, and there's a lot more to come on this one. So hopefully this motivated you to look at your sim rig, your sim room, your sim corner. What can you do to make it more immersive? What can you do to customize it and make it even more unique or built for just you? Because that's what it's all about. So give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can find out when our next video comes out. And thank you for watching. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.